Good evening. Welcome to Online Math 116, Math for Life at Wisconsin Lutheran College. I want to give you just a little bit of an introduction to why the course, what it's about, how it's designed, what kind of expectations. At least we can get a beginning on that. I personally just really love working with students, and I welcome you to contact me at any time. Not just in the tools in the course either. When I give you the phone number, you can call it at any time. I'm not guaranteeing I can answer it all the time, but I will do my best. So let me start by doing some screen sharing here. Should be seeing my screen now, and I'm going to share with you an introductory section. So first of all, the name of our course, Mathematics for Life. If you haven't already noticed, I'll try to show you tonight that when you're on our website, we'll see these two things at the bottom of the page listed that we do have. I've started with 2 meetings per week. These are optional. You do not have to come. Attendance will not be marked, but there are opportunities for you to interact with me directly. I mean, there's chat, there's online forum questions you can ask, but then if we do this online chat, we can kind of live type back and forth to each other on Mondays. And on Thursdays, we'll do similar to what you're seeing right now, the video format, or talk to each other. Yeah, I have the ability to write, so this works well for mathematics, so we can work problems out together, that type of thing. Those are kind of the regular weekly that are available to you. So just as a little introduction to the course, we're trying to, it's kind of corny, but my dad used to, when I was growing up, supper time, we'd have these family meetings, and my dad would say, okay, I've got some good news and some bad news. And not because I was brave. I would say, Dad, could we have the bad news first? Simply because I wanted to say the good news for later. So hence this corny format here. So, I mean, the bad news is, I realize that most of you are in this course because you have to be. I don't know, at least from my point of view, I love doing this, and I'm happy you're in my class. Thank you for being in my class. And I'm hoping to show you how you're probably better at math than you think you are. And I know for some of you, that's okay. You know, like any math course, the bad news is you have to do the work. The good news is you've got a guy here who really wants to plug away and give you all the assistance I can. Of course, you've got to do it, but short circuit any kind of frustration you have. I mean, make use of me. You'll see I'm going to give you all kinds of access numbers. You probably have seen them on the website already. So if you do need help, well, this is for my students that I see face to face. You stop and see me, and your tutors are not real easy to get a hold of, although they are available. Boy, I have a ton of things on the web, and then I've got those ways you can contact me every week. Actually, every day you can contact me the night. I'm okay with. I have no problem falling back to sleep. So if you need to call me late, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Shot, head hit pillow. I don't know if this is bad news, but you need a willingness and a determination to do this. And I'm a pretty determined person too, and I really want to plug away and give you a hand. Okay, so I don't know exactly where it is, but in the syllabus you'll see that, if not, I'm making these pledges to you right now. To work, not only do you have to work hard, but I do too. And so you'll see number 1 there, work hard. Available for you, the contact information we've talked about. And I want to go up above and beyond even what's normally maybe available in an online course. I just want to make this work for you. The testing is going to be a little bit different. We're going to break our tests into 2 parts, and we'll talk more about that later. But I want to get your test back to you real quickly so that you can, and we can start getting ready for the final evaluation at the end. And then I'll keep your grades posted for you. So, some pledges. Now, maybe kind of a corny illustration, but you should have your textbooks, and that's one color tint on the course. Class activities are yet another tint. Another important tool for learning the course. Then we've got tons of web resources. I guess my point is, it's only when you kind of get in there and do a little bit of all of it that you get the full color course. And so I encourage you, people that says, oh, I'm into the book, that's what I'm going to do, I'm going to just use the book, and then you kind of ignore the other resources, it probably will hurt you and not give you the full range of what the course is about. So just encourage you to use various resources, and I've got a ton of them. So I have an assignment for you. Maybe week, or I'd like you to send me an email. My email address is listed here. And I just want you to tell me a little bit about yourself. The only reason I want this is I want to get to know you a little bit better, and I don't know, it just helps me to reach my audience, all of it, a little bit better. See, on the WLC side, I think everyone is from Milwaukee, but hometown, maybe that means, I don't know, Wauwatosa or whatever. So anyway, if you could let me know those things. And the name of the last math class and approximately when. So, you might say, well, I had, I don't know, second year algebra, and I had it 5 years ago or 8 years ago or whatever. By the way, I just mentioned algebra because it's common. You really don't have to have heavy algebra, have a huge math background to take this class. It's one of the things I like about it. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me so that, if you know where I'm coming from, that'll help you know what I'm looking for. I'm going to give you a little look through my glasses, so to speak, maybe my unique view. So when I went to college, my first year I went to, and this building, Engelman Hall, is still there, and that's where I had my first college class. And I had a rather interesting experience to that building. Really weird thing for me is the room I had, by the way, the class was calculus. And they had these things I thought was really unusual. I don't know, just like, whoa, this is different from anything I've done before. And they had these one-arm bandits for writing on, which weren't very great because you couldn't fit your book in your notebook. I don't know. This was kind of what Zoom looked like, and you can see we had about, I don't know, 150, 200 students in class. Typical small class ability to answer question environment, which created some interesting challenges for me. these guys in math are always, it seems, can write at incredible speeds, and wow, really tough to keep up. And I remember I had that experience when I decided after class, I'm not usually this way, but I decided this college is important. I'm going to go ask my instructor. So I went up, sir, book. I couldn't believe it, but he walked away. Second time I had him for class, I tried to go up and ask him some questions, and same response. And I thought, wow, this guy just doesn't want to teach. Really amazing. But I thought my salvation would come in the fact that 2 days a week we could meet with only about 20 students. And I thought, great, we're in class, we're waiting for our first class. You don't get the professor, by the way, you get an assistant. Our assistant walked in the room, read off this list. None of us, if he was reading names, none of us recognized her name. Unbelievably, he did not speak any English. So we got this straight. My main professor won't answer my question except to tell me to read the book. And my assistant doesn't speak my language. Seemed like a nice guy. It's like trying to learn Russian in Bulgaria when you lived in the United States. It was just ridiculous. So anyway, I had a rather bad experience. And especially this not answering question thing really got to me. So I am huge on the air that the professor had, and wasn't very approachable. Then I had an English class that year. We were supposed to write some essays. It was a more normal sized class, similar to this. I don't know, we were getting our first essay back that day. I remember getting mine back. I was really embarrassed. I had some kind of a D. I hear more and more, not too far away, a girl starts crying. She had gotten her paper back. Near me, a football player got his back and pounded his fist on the desktop. Basically, there was weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. And I'll never forget the professor. She went up to the front and said, "You people are terrible at writing. Terrible." And I thought she was going to say, "You." No, she said, "That's okay, because honestly, the campus is too darn crowded. And if some of you flunk out, things will be more pleasant around here." This was a bad freshman year for me, in case you can't tell. The contrast here is, this is a joke, but me on the right, class. No, not really. I just thought it was funny. But this is what I love, when students raise their hands. Now, in your cases, that's more of an electronic raising of your hand. But when we get on the online hangouts where we can see each other, you can just speak up and please ask your questions. I'll do my best to help you out. I love doing that. So I'm really big into that. But I need you to make a move, okay? You need to tell me what you need, and some of you already have. We've had a good beginning that way, even though we haven't started. So here's my main contact information. You should know this is from our website. I want to especially emphasize, let's see, I got to get my pen out here. I want to especially emphasize this one right here. That one comes to my pocket, and you can text me, you can voice message me. I watch that pretty closely. I mean, that doesn't mean I can answer immediately, because sometimes I have other activities, but please contact me and I'll do my best to get back to you. The email address works fine too. This one, at my office at Wisconsin Lutheran College, but in the summer I will be mostly working out of my home. So Stay with the one up on the top, please. Okay? That's the one that's going to work the best. Resources here. There's we'll talk more about these as when we get onto the web page. But I've got, as you can see, several internet resources, and these are all links on the main course page. So just some concepts regarding mathematics. I know this is basic, and I'm not trying to imply you don't know these, but I really believe these work. So things to watch out for, okay? Please ask. Now, there are going to be several places you can go for help. The websites, but you can use the forum. You can use some of either the chat or the online hangout, video hangout. We can do that. We've already talked about the phone. This just I do have a Google phone, the number I gave you. And so sometimes you'll even hear what sounds like a secretary. It's Google kind of mediating the call. It's free, and it allows me to accessible to my students. Kind of the daily, weekly concepts. Attend every class. Well, that's not you guys, because we don't actually have a class, but keep at it, be regular. Week, for example, in your case, then that could be very, I don't know, it could just get in the way of the sequence, and then when you come back, you'll be able to sync up as easily with what we're doing. Do homework assignments on time. You'll see each week there's a set of assignments to do. But if you get behind the nose, again, if you can just stay with it. After homework is complete, number 3, you're not done. Then you want to go in there and look at your notes, look at your assignment, maybe where you put question marks. Review that before we have our meetings or our get-togethers or our chats, and then you'll be able to get to your questions real quickly, and we can make some progress. Become involved is pretty much this idea of speaking up. I included some handwritten notes from a former student as up how to be successful at my class, and he said basically take notes, do the assignments, be organized, correct mistakes, and life will rock. As we get in the notebook in the notebook video, that part of the notebooks is just going in there and making a note where you goofed up on it. You know, oh, I forgot to check my result, or if I had made a diagram, I would have, or just anything. I know it sounds annoyed person, but you actually want to write notes to yourself. That's really what a notebook is. And I've already gone through my pledges to you, so I'm going to skip over that. These are just some descriptive tools that kind of describe me, my background. I've taught computer programming. I'm a math teacher. I'm really into software and computer resources. Part of the reason for all the resources course we will have 3 units, and each of the 3 units I will end with a presentation from this series that you see on the screen right now in design. So and for those, they're not as much mathematical as mathematics applied in God's creation around us. So at the end of each chapter, see 3 of these ones we're going to be doing. When we do the logic, we're going to take, our first chapter is on sets. And for that one, we are going to be ending up with the 2 infinities, this one on the right here in the middle. And then our second unit is going to be on logic, and there we will use thinking God's thoughts, the one up here in the top right corner. Finally, when we do our geometry unit, there the presentation that I've chosen that fits beautifully with that is the divine proportion, top center. As you can see, I have more of those, 4 more, but those are the 3 you guys will see. And this is one of the principles that I intend to show with those. And by the way, my quote, that's me. I believe math, I'm convinced, is man's attempt at trying to describe the order that God has placed into the universe. And you'll see some straight where I'm coming from. These are just some of the pictures that indicate some of the designs we will be looking at. So anyway, that's kind of a unique part of this course, and I'll want you to take some notes on that, but you won't have any assignment on it. This ability to write on my screen, and so you'll see much like you would see on a chalkboard. I can make drawings. I can do writing live. Here, I'll just do some writing live for you to show you what I mean by that. And it's pretty natural, and so we can go through problems together and talk quite well. It's almost like life. Okay, so of the, I've already basically covered this one here, number, and all the different ways I want you to get a hold of me. I haven't talked about this one, so let me spend a few minutes on that one. Unique mathematical subject matter. I picked topics is maybe an exception. All of you have probably had some geometry. And by the way, don't be afraid. The thing most people geometry is proofs, doing proofs. But the other 2 units, sets and logic, first of all, are real easily attainable. We're going to be taking some nice, simple, basic rules from that. I really believe they're attainable by anyone. And if you're into memory work at all, some simple, not complicated, but some just learn basic rules, you should be. So anyway, it's kind of unique mathematical subject matter in that regard. Most people haven't had this type of material, and yet we're going to take the very simple level of it, and yet it's extremely powerful in practical life problem solving. So that's kind of the idea behind as we go along. So student navigation of the course. So in order to show you this, I'm going to load up our web page, and I just want to show you some basic things about navigation here. So I guess I need to get it. Let's see. What am I doing? We'll do a new one. And so we'll get our course up. So this is what the home page looks like. Hopefully all of you are seeing this. This says present to everyone. Hopefully this is not the first time you're seeing this. If it is, I'm going to have to do this video over again. So here's what our website looks like. In the very top of it, we've got, this is the contact info for me. And then we've got the book information, which I wrote to you about, getting that textbook. And if you go on the website, you can see I've got the version numbers, the ISBN numbers down here. So for ordering the book, you should be able to do that. I also want to draw your attention to the far left column. Those are all videos, basically all the lessons we are going to do in the course. The entire course is on video. So that's one of the major resources. You can actually see me teaching. You know, if you click on one of these, it'll actually open up a YouTube video, and you know, you can make that full screen and move forward. Get back to our course right now, but that's a big part of our course over there. All right, then as you go down below the book, we've got some, I know some of you found this because the course questions right in there is where we have our forum. If you open up the forum, you will see, you know, some of the questions that already have been sent to me, and I've tried to answer. At least we're getting a start on that. That's one. The only problem with that is it's not immediate, but that's cool. Okay, then you'll see the virtual office. That's the Monday that where we all can type to each other in real time. And you know, that's not ideal later for math because math is a little bit hard with a normal keyboard. But nevertheless, it's to talk about issues related to the course. And then below it, live Q&A each Thursday, 7 to 8. That's when we're going to do a video audio hangout. As you will be, you know, on Monday, you just go to this website and you should be able to log in real easily. I have to look at that. I haven't done that in a while. On Thursdays, you will get an email from me with a link. About a half hour before 7 o'clock, you should get an email at your Wisconsin Lutheran College email address. And here you should be able to, we can talk and we can see each other, and I can write things and we can solve problems together. We can try to clarify expectations. If you want to get it in writing, is right here, but I got to tell you, the syllabus is really what is right below, from week 1 to week 2 all the way down to week 2. The syllabus is laid out for you right on the web page. Yeah, so let's just take a peek at week 1. First, I've got listed, what is it, in this case, 7 learning objectives. Those are the 7 concepts that I am going to attempt to show you how to do. I have a rough outline, the 4 things, and by the way, for this week, this is the first item, the course introduction, right now. When I do the video on Math Notebook, that's this one, and then this first week, we're just going to do 2 lessons. Point 1, which means chapter 1, lesson 1, and lesson 2.1, which is chapter 2, lesson 1. Then I give you a list of study resources. You can look up you've got lesson 1.1 in the book. You can go to a web page. I'm just going to show you real quickly a page here, which you can click through, and it's got lessons for the course. All kinds of things that way. Okay, let me back up. And it's a web lesson for 2.1. And here's the video lessons again, in case you don't want to grab them over here on the left column on the top. Lesson 1.1, lesson 2.1. And by the way, the extra ones are when I did multiples. So you just go to the beginning, like you want to do lesson 2.1. I would click here. And then these are repeats I did with adults, where we actually had question and answer sessions. There are 6 more, but and then here's some of my present. So anyway, all of that is there, and I've also stuck it right in your week to make it as convenient for you as I could. So here's lesson 1.1, the videos. These notes are just in case. Okay, those are not the notes you take, but those are those are some of the slides that I showed you in the videos right up above. And sometimes if the video goes too fast and you don't want to sit there hitting the pause button, you could open this up and see here. Let me just show you one here. There's the notes from lesson 1-1. In this case, they're smaller pages, but they show some of the diagrams that I use there. Okay, and then comes the 2 assignments. Since we have 2 lessons, 2 assignments. Now, the ones at the very bottom, this is just in case you don't have a book yet. These 2 on the bottom, these PDFs, are right out of the book, just in case somebody had a little trouble getting their book on time. Okay, and then week 2, new list, same, but now the second week activities, and so forth. So that's kind of the general schedule. Now, I wanted to just show you this too. If you go back up to the top of the course, and in this box, where my name is and all that type of thing, I've got office hours, the website. If you click on that, lessons are, I have a whole another independent website for this course. And if you especially go to course notes, laid out. Here's lesson 1-1. And here's that lesson we were looking at before, where you can click through. You can also go look at sample problems. In this case, it's a project, but anyway, let's look at the second lesson. And so what I do is I present the lesson in columns because I don't have the video and audio. And this is a non-graded check concepts quiz. And then if you click on the Rubik's Cube, that'll give you sample problems. Student I've ever met likes sample problems. So anyway, I'm going to just come back now. So that's a whole nother, besides this website, that's a whole nother website. And actually I have a third one, which is this one in the bottom where it says course structure. And some of you may really like this. It's highly organized and it looks like this. So the course is laid out. I mean, you can go look, if you click on the little plus buttons, you can get the detail on me and whatever else, and then you can put that away. But what I really wanted to show you is you can click and drag, really get into our course. You see the book cover in our first chapter, chapter 2. And when you open that plus sign, it gives you what? The 5 lessons in chapter 2. And in each lesson, all the detail you want. The learning objectives are up there, the terms, notes from class, I mean, all the video. So does it step by step. Of course, if you had this all open, it would be huge. But so if you just click the minus sign, you can go to the part that you want to look at. So anyway, that's another thing we can talk about later. So basically, there are 3 different websites for this course, and I'm hoping that at least one of them might be the best match for you. Look, before my video comes out on the math notebook, and it looks like I might be doing that tomorrow morning now, but on the math notebook, here are the guidelines. This link right underneath the book, Mathematics Notebook Guidelines, and if you click on that, go through some of the stuff I'm going to be going through as we learn about what do I mean by a mathematics notebook. All right, I think I'm going to go back to our outline. So that's student navigation. We also just looked at the multiple websites. I showed you about the video. The list of tasks, that's basically right in the weekly, when you look at week 1, boy, everything is listed there for you. So you should be able to do that. Now, when it comes to handing in of work, mathematics notebook, that's what I'm going to cover in the math notebook video. That should be available. Well, right now I'm looking at probably first thing Monday morning. I'll be doing that, posting it as soon as I am done. So, the only thing I don't like about these videos is it's all me. I much prefer having students on board and we are going, but at least we have a beginning here. Once again, I want to say, let me see if we can. We'll unshare here and see if I can come back. So I'm back on camera. I just wanted to say again, thanks for being in my class. I really love doing this. I want to help you. And I really look forward to it. So we'll be seeing more of you. And God bless.